Are you telling me my son's not important enough to look for? I mean, he's got to be out there somewhere. And I understand the river conditions and that type of thing, but my son's life is important.
We're talking with family and friends of a missing jet skier who are not giving up hope that their loved one can be found.
Corbin's Little League fields were vandalized. Police say the people responsible now face several charges.
After more than 10 years of planning, Kentucky National Guard Memorial in Frankfort is finished.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening. There is still no sign of a missing jet skier 24 hours after he fell off a jet ski. Crews from 10 agencies spent the day searching for Mike McCarty.
Firefighters say he went missing near Brooklyn Bridge off US 68 in the Palisades about 6:30 last night. Our Kristen Kennedy is in Mercer County, where the search has wrapped up for the day and the hope of finding McCarty is starting to fade. She has our top story at 6.
One day after disappearing on the Kentucky River, Mike McCarty's family holds out hope they'll bring his body home.
I want his body found so that we can put him to rest. I mean, how can you tell me that, hey, we can't find him, we're just going to give up?
Mother Bessie Reinheimer didn't want search crews to stop Monday afternoon. They told us they're waiting for water conditions to change and giving search dogs a chance to rest.
And I understand the river conditions and that type of thing, but my son's life is important. I want him found. I want to be able to do what we need to do.
McCarty's wife told us he loved being out on the water, and he lived very close to the area where he went missing. Sunday night, friends say they were testing a jet ski when he disappeared.
He fell off the back of the jet ski, and I didn't see where he landed. I didn't realize he was gone till too late.
Doug Hampton was with McCarty Sunday night.
The only chance we have is to find him on the bottom, probably. And they're taking away the equipment that can do that.
In Mercer County, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Search crews hope to be back out tomorrow. They plan to take a closer look at water conditions then.
We're learning new details about a Lexington cyclist hit and killed by a suspected drunk driver. Mark Hinkle was riding in the Horsey 100 Saturday in Georgetown when police say a truck hit him. Odilon Paz Salvador is charged now with murder. According to his arrest citation, Paz Salvador told police he drank 6 beers and smoked marijuana before hitting Hinkle. An officer responding to the scene says he passed Paz Salvador's truck and saw a person wearing reflective clothing on the truck bed cover. Police later caught up with Paz Salvador and arrested him. Hinkle was taken to UK hospital where he later died. The 57-year-old Hinkle was a prominent Lexington attorney.
Crews in southern Kentucky have been busy cleaning up after police say 2 people vandalized multiple buildings in Corbin. Take a look at this surveillance video. 2 men caught running away from the scene right there. Police later found the Corbin Rotary Park and football field covered in graffiti. Those 2 people have since been found and charged. As our Sam Smith tells us in this Crime Tracker report, leaders of a Little League program in Corbin are frustrated with the mess.
You just don't think that happens in a small town like Corbin.
Early Sunday morning, vandals were caught on camera spray painting a building at Rotary Park. We blurred out what was written because the messages were inappropriate. This building was not the only target.
A lot of riding on a lot of different buildings, 4 or 5 different buildings involved.
Corbin police cited a 22-year-old and a juvenile in connection with these crimes. Police say both of them gave full confessions. Ronnie Smith says crews were able to paint over the black spray paint before kids took the field again.
And if this would have happened last night, then we would have had 150 kids show up this morning to a lot of profanity and vulgarness. So we're glad that, that we were able to get most of it cleaned up.
The monuments dedicated to Catherine and Jack Day were also tagged. This will be more difficult to clean.
If you put something on there that, you know, removes all the paint, then it can get into the things on the monument.
Smith says there could be thousands of dollars worth of damage here. He hopes the vandals get the help they need.
I mean, this community was just, you know, just very disappointed that it would happen.
In Corbin, Sam Smith, WKYT.
Police have charged the suspects with 3 counts of criminal mischief apiece. A Laurel County woman is in jail tonight. Deputies say she was high on meth and damaged merchandise at a Walmart. Deputies arrested 42-year-old Caricia Botner at the Walmart in Corbin. They say they found her pushing 3 carts full of plants and clothing items while eating cabbage she picked up from the produce section. Deputies say she had 2 syringes with her and admitted to shooting up meth. Deputies say she destroyed $160 worth of items. She is charged with criminal mischief and trespassing.
A Lexington mother is accused of being high while she was driving with children in the car. Police say Terry Hendricks tried to stop the car in a field. She later admitted to police she took synthetic marijuana 30 minutes before driving. Police say there were children in the back seat. Well, today marks the unofficial start of summer, and we've had some showers, crash cookouts, and pool parties.
Apparently. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey's here to track our Memorial Day forecast with the First Alert Defender. Hey, Chris.
Hey, guys. A little on the steamy side out there today. An increase in humidity to go along with those toasty temperatures, and now starting to pick up on a little bit of light rain. We had some light rains here in Lexington a bit ago, but obviously not leaving a whole lot behind. We can't even find our streets damp out in front of the station as of now. 73 Lexington, though, with the low clouds, the on and off raindrops nearby, those temperatures struggling low and mid 70s. You can see who has the thicker clouds into central and western Kentucky. Look at the east, little sun and low 80s to go along with those late day Memorial Day plans. Live First Alert Defender. Lighter rains across central Kentucky now beginning to lift to the north. Some sprinkles around Georgetown and Paris. Look what's developing, though, northern parts of Casey County, back toward the Campbellsville area of Taylor County. A couple of isolated showers that may try to grow into some thunder and lightning over the next little bit. Spotty raindrops, Beattyville, Lee County, back into Jackson County, south side of McKee around Annville. Another heavier burst of rain coming out of the volunteer state of Tennessee into Wayne County. Folks around Lake Cumberland may see some of that. If you're out this evening, it's a shower or a thunderstorm. Nothing that is overly heavy, with temperatures dropping through the 70s into the upper 60s and low 70s. Now, when I come back in a few minutes, guys, we're going to focus on that Tuesday forecast that has the potential for some of the storms to be strong or even severe. We'll break down that threat with the hour-by-hour forecast.
On this Memorial Day, we honor those who died fighting for our country. Today, the Kentucky National Guard dedicated a new memorial that pays tribute to more than 230 men and women who have died in the line of duty.
WKYT's Mike Linden is in Frankfort with a look at how the fallen heroes are being honored.
Memorial Day is a day to remember the military men and women that made the ultimate sacrifice.
It's more than the picnics and the barbecues, but it is a time to really reflect and think about the sacrifices of not only Darren, but especially here in Kentucky, all these other over 200 that have died.
Lynn's son, Sergeant Darren Potter, died in 2003 while serving in Iraq. He was the first guardsman killed in action since the Vietnam War. She says the memorial sends a message to all men and women serving in the military.
I think this recognizes the real heroes that live among us, and this is a good way to recognize it and to stop and to take a moment and appreciate your freedoms because of the sacrifice of these heroes.
Since 1912, 234 citizen soldiers and airmen have died. Now they have a permanent memorial to remember them by here in Frankfort. The site also has soil from all 120 counties in the Bluegrass State in recognition of the Kentucky National Guard being the state's hometown defense force.
In these very, very tough financial times is a great tribute to the men and women of the National Guard, and particularly the people whose names are on the wall.
In Frankfort, Mike Linden, WKYT.
The memorial is at the entrance of the Boone National Guard Center. Nearly $1.5 million was raised to build it. All the money came from private donations and corporate grants. Right now, there are 233 names on the memorial, but a 234th will soon be added. Just last week, Sergeant Jonathan Rourke died in the line of duty. The 34-year-old had been working at his National Guard job in Frankfort. He was headed home to Knox County when his car was hit by a tractor trailer in a chain reaction crash on I-75 in Rockcastle County. A truck driver from Ohio also died in that crash.
People also gathered in Jessamine County to honor those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Camp Nelson held its annual Memorial Day ceremony. Thousands of troops killed in the line of duty are buried there. Many people brought with them wreaths and bouquets that they placed on loved ones' graves to let them know that they are never forgotten. During today's ceremony, speakers talked about the importance of this day, saying it's a time for reflecting and remembering. If you've driven through the University of Kentucky campus lately, chances are you have passed through a lot of construction sites. The president of the UK calls it one of the most ambitious residential hall expansions in the country. In a WKYT exclusive, our Miranda Combs walks us through all the new development.
What is that? It's actually progress.
The demand for these new residence hall is skyrocketing.
For this fall, there is more than 130% demand to live in something like this. More than a dorm, a living and learning community.
When people walk on a campus, they will look at your facilities and use it as a proxy for how they think you value education.
We sat down with President of UK, Dr. Eli Capilouto, to talk expansion.
3 or 4 years ago, when we took stock of our residence halls, we realized out of the 6,000 beds we had, only 600 of those beds were in what we call modern facilities.
So they hired a housing partner, a group called EDR, to build.
We've authorized over 5,700 new beds.
Operate.
$348 million of investment in housing on the campus.
And maintain the buildings quick.
Ours has been one of the grander plans.
So the idea from starting to think about this concept to really having our students living in the residence halls in the period of 3 or 4 years to build 5,700 beds, that is unusual.
There are 12 residence halls total, either open or under construction. 8 are on the central and southern part of the campus, and 4 are on the northern end. There are 5,278 new beds on campus now, ones that have popped up in the past few years. By August next year, add another 1,141 to that number for a grand total of 6,400 beds and a grand monetary total of $350 million, all built since 2005.
But this isn't a residence hall. This is the Academic Science Building. It's costing $110 million. And there's a full renovation of the football stadium and a new road to go around new residence halls to help take pressure off of Rose Street.
I think housing really started it, and as we continue today, we have over $1.7 billion worth of authorized projects on the campus.
We probably have the most ambitious residential hall expansion program in the country.
Our students grow up with their own bedroom and their own bathroom, and they want that when they come to college. They want study spaces and learning spaces and spaces they can thrive in and build community in.
And in turn, learn. In Lexington, Miranda Combs, WKYT.
And the campus is also undergoing a transportation master plan that they hope to have complete by the end of the summer.